My name is Erica Henderson, and I will be discussing the social issue of homosexuality. Fag, queer, homo, fairy, queen, puff, leso, dyke, rug muncher. These are all derogatory terms used in relation to homosexuals. The famous author, Dr. Seuss, once said, "Be who you are and say what you feel, because those who don't mind don't matter, and those who matter don't mind." In a society that prides itself on being so against discrimination, there are still so many people and minorities that are discriminated against. One minority within the community who is discriminated against is the homosexuals. It is preached to us at school, via the media, the television, newspaper, magazines, the internet and radio, and in the workplace, that Australia does not tolerate discrimination against anyone, regardless of their race, class, age, gender, etc. Yet people are still being bullied based on whether they are male or female, black or white-skinned, young or old, gay or straight, and the list continues. The term homosexual can be defined as a sexual feeling for a person or persons of the same sex. The group includes lesbians, who is a female having sexual feelings for another female, gays, which is a male having sexual feelings for another male, and bisexuals having sexual feelings for both sexes. Another term used in relation to homosexuality is homophobia. Homophobia is used to indicate any negative thoughts, feelings, or behaviours towards those who are sexually attracted to persons of their own sex. Before the 1970s, medical theories categorised lesbians and gay men as sick, aggressive, tragically unhappy, and self-destructive. People who are perceived to be lesbian or gay may be the target of a range of negative reactions. It has been said that the homosexual characteristics appear to be established before adolescence, and studies have shown that some homosexual experimental behaviour is experienced by many adolescents. When adolescents experience these feelings and characteristics and realise that they are a homosexual, the adolescent must then accept themselves as that if they are to move on with their life and carry on within society. The next difficult hurdle homosexuals must face after self-acceptance of themselves being homosexual is the process of coming out. This process is when the homosexual begins to tell family, friends, and society that they are a homosexual. The person is often worried about how other people are going to react and the long-term effects this information is going to have on their life. There are many social consequences attached to being a homosexual. These social consequences are potential difficulties in peer group acceptance, family rejection, school and institution harassment, limited employment opportunities, legal difficulties, and social isolation. The social issue carries both difference and dominance. The difference in this situation is that homosexuals are not classed as the gender norm. The gender norm being heterosexual, which is a person who has sexual feelings for a person or persons of the opposite sex. The dominance is that the heterosexual community over the homosexual community. A large majority of the heterosexuals are disgusted by the behaviour that homosexuals exhibit. The heterosexual group within schools, the workplace and community dominates so much of what homosexuals can and cannot do. A tradition that the homosexual community participate in is Mardi Gras. The Sydney Gay and Lesbian Mardi Gras aims to raise the visibility of the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer and intersex communities. The purpose and action of the Sydney Mardi Gras is to inspire the world to love each other by celebrating the power and beauty of diversity. This tradition allows the homosexual community to proudly show who they are, and just like heterosexuals and the rest of society, that they are normal and should be treated like everybody else, equally and fairly. An individual's identity makes a person who they are. John Austin says that what we produce and wear, key in or display more frequently identifies us. If a male decides to wear a bracelet or rings or has his hair spiked, freshly shaven and smells of fresh deodorant, society may label the male as being gay or a snob, when in fact the male may just be proud of his appearance. If a female wears makeup, has her hair straightened, wears nice jewelry and has nice clothes, society labels her as being well off. This female may be well off, or she may just like to present herself nicely. If a male decides to walk down the street wearing a tight shirt, skirt and high heels, he is labelled a transvestite. The male may enjoy wearing clothes of the opposite sex, or he may be participating in a social experiment, or may be going to a fancy dress party. Because gays and lesbians are emotionally and sexually attracted to the same sex as them, means that they are forced to fight for so many rights that heterosexuals are freely given. For example, the right to marry who they choose, etc. Mardi Gras demonstrates that lesbians, gays, bisexuals, transgenders, queers, and intersex are different within their own little community. Some of the gays enjoy wearing glittering dresses, high heels, makeup, and wigs, resulting in them dressing as transvestites. Some lesbians enjoy wearing male suits, having short or shaven hair, masculine muscles, and tattoos. Homosexuals don't just dress up in the opposite sex's clothing. They also dress up in glittering capes, fairy wings, and various other dress-up outfits. This shows difference because they are openly happy to dress as the opposite sex without fear of being discriminated against. Mardi Gras shows that there is dominance within the LGBTQI community. The dominance is the gays and lesbians over the transgenders, queers, and intersex. The dominance doesn't carry any form of discrimination with it. It is merely based on numbers. There are more gays and lesbians than transgenders, queers, and intersex. In the classroom, it is vital that students and teachers don't discriminate against anyone, regardless of their race, class, age, and gender, including homosexuals. There are many ways that a teacher can educate their students about how not to discriminate those who are homosexuals. The teacher can show snippets of video footage from Sydney Mardi Gras. The snippet could show males wearing dresses and females wearing suits. The teacher could then show pictures of celebrities who dress in similar clothing. For example, the teacher could show a female homosexual wearing a suit at Mardi Gras, and then the teacher could show a homosexual female celebrity who has also worn a suit. The teacher could then show a male at Mardi Gras wearing a dress, high heels and makeup, and then could show a famous male homosexual wearing a similar outfit. This could show the class that average people in society and multi-million-dollar celebrities dress similarly, and that the celebrity isn't discriminated against because of it. On the slide, we can see a young girl marching at Mardi Gras, wearing a dress-up male suit, followed by the celebrity Ellen DeGeneres wearing a suit at her wedding. This is then followed by a male wearing a stunning blue frock at Mardi Gras, followed by the celebrity Elton John wearing an extravagant feminine outfit. As a teacher, I might hope to show students that even though people dress differently, does not mean that they are different. I would hope to teach students that all homosexuals are the same as heterosexuals, just with inappropriate hurdles presented to them. I would hope to teach students that homosexuals deserve to be loved and respected and given the same opportunities as heterosexuals, even though they are emotionally and sexually attracted to the other sex. One of the key ways I would teach students not to discriminate against homosexuals is to get the students to sit in groups of 6, preferably 3 girls and 3 boys per group. I would then provide those students with plain white paper, not butcher's paper, and coloured pens. I would then ask the students to brainstorm what homosexuality means to them. For every concept that is brainstormed, the student would then have to explain why they associate that with homosexuality. For example, if a student puts down the word queer, the student must then need to clearly explain why they associate that word with homosexuality. The explanation needs to be clear and legitimate, not pointless, empty, and stupid. This gives students the opportunity to thoroughly think about what homosexuality means to them. Students would be required to write down both positive and negative word associations. Once the allocated time is up, students would then be required to present their brainstorming to the rest of the class. The following day, I would then decorate the classroom with homosexuality and pride-orientated goods. The rainbow flag, pictures of the same-sex couples holding hands, same-sex couples getting married, as well as the brainstorming from yesterday's activity. I would then ask the students to explain what the rainbow-coloured flag represents. I would then ask the students to voice their opinions about the different homosexual items placed around the room. Again, these students would need to have well-constructed and well-thought reasons as to why they feel the way they do. This activity gets the students to visually see homosexuality in all of its forms and allows them to voice their opinions. It is hoped that this activity will get students to think more openly about the homosexuality situation and not just in a discriminatory way. Another activity I might use is a survey type activity. I would ask the students to raise their hands if they have ever been physically hurt by anyone, pushed, punched, slapped, etc. I would then ask the students to raise their hands if they have ever been verbally abused by someone, sworn at, yelled at, had derogatory or hurtful words spoken to them. I would then ask the students to raise their hands if they have ever been psychologically abused by anyone, for example, left out of a group or activity. I would then ask the students to raise their hands if they have ever had social aggression directed towards them, such as using technology to send messages or images of them. I would then ask the students how they felt after they experienced this treatment. Once the students have completed this visual and verbal survey and emotional explanation, I would then tell the students that they have been the victim of bullying because of many reasons. These reasons could be because of how they look, how popular they are, the home and family they come from, their race or culture, their sex, being male or female, their disability, or because of their sexual orientation, gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender. I would then explain to the students that how they felt after being bullied is how homosexuals feel after being bullied. And I'll explain that even though homosexuals do not have the same sexual orientation as heterosexuals, does not make it right, okay, or appropriate for them to be constantly bullied and discriminated against. I would hope that this activity would bring to the students' attention that bullying, no matter what the circumstance, is not an appropriate thing to do to anyone, and that it hurts people's feelings, no matter who they are. A person, no matter what their circumstance, has the right to be treated like a proper human being, not discriminated against or bullied because of the differences they have. In an ever-expanding and so-called accepting society, it is shameful at the amount of people still bullied and discriminated against. Treat people how you would like to be treated.